What up, guys? Jason Geiman here tonight with Bobby Walker, the guru YouTuber. That is what is wrong with the industry is the gurus and all you guys just give all this information out on YouTube and on Facebook, and that is why I cannot grow my business. That's why I cannot get to my $10,000 month because I have, or my $10,000 week, because all these gurus just keep giving this information away for free. But let's talk about that a little bit. What do you think about that, Bobby? Do you think it's the YouTube's fault, or do you think it might be something to do with accountability or something?
Yeah, gosh, man, that's a big, that's kind of a big topic. So here's the deal. It's funny. So Jason, you and I, we joke about this stuff a lot because, even though most of the people out there are in our communities are super awesome and friendly, we always kind of get the whole everything that you just said. Those guys are giving away all the trade secrets and X, Y, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just sitting here and I'm thinking, the trade secret is bleach, man. There's no secrets to this industry. And frankly, service businesses have been the same forever and ever and ever. So really what it comes down to is the people that are crying and bitching about that stuff. They're the guys that are getting their butts handed to them by the competition. And instead of trying to raise their own game, they're not using personal accountability. I know you were talking about it for a few videos when I would chime in there. You'd read that book, Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink, and the attitude of everything is my fault, I think, is the foundation where we get to build success on top of. And there are things that happen in life that aren't our fault. That's not the point. There's people that are really victims in actual situations. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when we're trying to achieve our goals. If I have the attitude that everything's my fault, what I'm doing is empowering myself to fix it. When I have the attitude of, the guru online is ruining the industry by getting too many people in it, all that's telling me is in a low barrier to entry industry, you don't have the goods to stand out amongst the rest.
And as I've been in this business for as long as I have, this has been a common theme all the way through for the last 10 years. It's not nothing new at the end of the day. And that's some things that I want to hit on a little bit of. I seen one the other day in the post of the guy was like, I handed out 2,000 door hangers and I've not gotten one phone call. Well, you got one of two problems. You're either in the wrong neighborhood or the door hanger. Bobby, how many door hangers, because you're a big door hanger and that's how you got started, how many door hangers did you put out before you got the perfect neighborhoods and the perfect door hanger down that was the best? And at the end of the day, what was those results at the end of the day?
Yeah, so now keep in mind that was about 4 years ago. So I do feel that I've got a good grasp on the numbers, but if I throw out a number and you go and watch one of my videos from 4 years ago and the numbers aren't the exact same, I'm not lying. I'm just going with best off my memory, okay? But I remember at first, because we started hitting flyers essentially right out of the gate, and we probably did, I bet you we did 4,000 or 6,000 flyers with very, very, very limited success because we were using bad designs. The other stuff we were doing kind of right, but our design wasn't real great. And once we got the design right, along with the proper strategy on how to hit, which we can go over all that stuff, it was literally boom, overnight. Just everything changed and our trajectory changed. So we did a handful of thousands, let's say between 3,000 and 6,000, somewhere in there. Got the design right, and then really started to hammer it because that first 3,000 to 6,000 was over the course of a few months. And then when we got the design right and our effort right, we started doing 3,000 to 6,000 a month. I don't. Can you see me? Something locked up. Okay, so we were doing about 3,000 to 6,000 a month minimum, and it started kicking ass. So I can go as deep into that as you want, I'm trying not to babble too much.
No, I wanted to hit on you had to do the 3 to 6,000 door hangers before you found the right one. Now,
Oh
did
yeah.
you just keep going down and keep doing the same door hanger, or was you changing them as you were doing them 3 to 6,000 different door hangers?
We had used a handful of options, and I don't remember exactly how many, but probably 5 different designs if I was just, going off my best memory here. And what we were doing is we were using, well, I think your point, Jason, I don't want to get too far into the weeds. I think your point that you're making, we're not talking about designs, we're talking about the grit, because the fact is it takes a little while to find your way. And I actually just made this post online. I do it every now and then when it comes up on a memory or something, but I've got a photo of my son, Caleb, who started the business with me. He's my business partner. I got a photo of he and I. We're over there in Winter Park, Florida. And it's a photo of him holding a plastic, son of a gun. I don't know if you can you hear me?
Yep,
It looks
I can
like we're
still
locked
hear you
up.
and see you.
He's holding his plastic clipboard over his head. I'm taking a photo. There's a monsoon coming down behind us. And the reason I love that photo so much, is probably my favorite photo ever, is because it reminds me of the commitment and the grind that we did do. Because today I'm kind of lazy because I can be, but back then we had to pound it out. And the only reason we stopped handing out flyers on that particular day with that photo is it was raining so hard we couldn't even keep our flyers dry in our clipboards. So to your point, Jason, because I was watching your last, I think it was your last live video. You were talking about everyone wants to depend on SEO for their company to take off, and SEO is great. But guys, I've done about $2 million in pressure washing. Maybe more, maybe I don't know exactly where I'm at right now, but we've done about 2 million. I started doing SEO about 6 months ago.
I wouldn't just hit on that. You're already beat me to the point here, because I was just going to say you did all this work and you never did put money in SEO and spend thousands of dollars in SEO and none of that till 6 months ago, right? And I'm not saying that SEO is SEO. I'm not saying that SEO is, the beat all. A lot of people think SEO is the beat all, meet all at the end of the day, and it's not. That is not the case, period. Bobby went for almost 4 years and didn't put a dime in SEO. Now, he did other marketing forums. He did door hang. How many door hangers have you put out in the last 4 years?
Oh, well, we don't do a lot of them now because I don't have to. But I would say in the first year, we probably did. I'm just trying to do some math here in my head. I bet you we did 50,000 in our first year. I bet you we probably got that many out. Which
now, how much marketing money did you spend to do your first $100,000?
Oh, not a lot actually. In year number one, we started in February, and aside from using Thumbtack a little bit in our first couple months, we didn't do any paid advertising until November, I think. So all of it up until then was flyers. So maybe it was in October. So I bet you we probably spent $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 in paid advertising in year number one, and we did about 100 and I think we did 130, 140K. But for half of that, it was window cleaning only, so it was lower ticket prices until we added pressure washing too.
So, what was some failures that you had to overcome, or did you just say that you couldn't do it anymore because you were fat and didn't want to walk too much when you were tired and that kind of thing, or did you have to overcome failures when you were trying to learn this stuff?
Yeah, for me personally, the biggest one is just like discouragement. Because I think we probably have the same philosophy on failure. You're not a failure until you quit. There's failures, and then there's you being a failure. Failures are just going to happen all the time, but you're not a failure until you quit, in my opinion. And so for me, it was always just the discouragement. And then at the very beginning, and so for any of you guys that are listening, that you're either brand new in the business or maybe you've been in it for a while, but you've just never got any traction. I'm I'm kind of going back to the flyer thing, but like there's a rule with flyers, or not just for flyers, but print marketing and stuff in general, where it's the third time someone has seen your ad, your flyer, that you'll start getting results. Meaning, in your first and your second time to hit an area, you can expect 0 results. And I paid money on some education on how to do cheap marketing and stuff like that. So when I read all those things, I believed it, because I was like, okay, this person built a 7-figure company. I'm going to listen to their advice. So when we were doing the flyers and we were on the first round and that second round and we were getting no return, I wanted to quit because of the discouragement. So the thing for me on getting through that failure, which was probably the most tempting one, is I always had to look at the people that have already done what I'm trying to do and say, okay, they've proven it can happen. So now the question is, do I have what it takes to get there? So if I don't get there, it's not because it can't be done, it's because of me. Right back to that very first thing we were talking about on personal accountability. So looking in the mirror, being honest, and having the attitude that everything is my fault, to me, is the key to being able to get over the fear of quitting and the fear of failure.
Now, is there times that you had to look at things and be like, this isn't working and we're going to switch to something else? Or was it one of those things that you kept pushing and trying to push it through and bulldog through sometimes?
Say that again, Jason. Repeat. I got distracted looking at a comment. I'm sorry. Say that again.
Was there a time that you was like, you had to think like, this is not working, and it's not that it's a failure, it's just not working, and we have to pivot and we're going to move to the next thing to try to get business through another avenue?
Of course. Well, and again, just sticking with the same theme, even with flyers, there's times that you will hit walls and find places that don't work. I have one neighborhood in particular that I can think of, and this little neighborhood is right in the middle of other neighborhoods that kill it for us. Okay. And, sometimes you bang your head against the wall and you just don't get results, and you do exactly what you said. You back up, and you don't go 90 degrees and try that. You back up, you redirect a little bit, and then you go back and attack it, because there's nothing new under the sun, as the Bible says. It's the same stuff. Marketing is marketing, people are people, services are services. You just got to have the right design, the right target audience, and the right frequency, and then wash, rinse, repeat, and you will have success with it.
It is true. Be as annoying as Home Advisor. And that's what I always tell people. Hey, learn something off of Home Advisor is, they don't give up. They keep pushing and pushing. You know why they do it? It's a numbers game. And we're doing the same thing. It's a numbers game. You figure out what works, and they know that if they call 100 people, they're going to get 3 people, 5 people, 10 people to sign up. So you know what they do? They call 100 people every single day.
Yeah. Yep. I keep seeing this comment. It says, Bobby, if you weren't a pressure washer, which I'm actually not a pressure washer, but if you weren't a pressure washer and you were in shape, you'd make it through SEAL training. I'm like, well, I think that's an insult, but I'll just add on to it. I don't think I've got the mental toughness to get through SEAL training, regardless of how physically fit I might be.
So I love talking about the gurus, and every time I see it come up, that's one of the things that, a lot of times when people say this is the reason that I can't grow my business, or this isn't the reason that grows my business. And what it comes back to me is you can't grow your business because you are usually worried about everybody else. Mm-hmm. And when you are worried about everybody else, guess what? You're not worried about your own business at that point. You're not putting time and focus and energy in your own business. You're putting it in everybody else's business. And guess what happens when we do that? You are going to probably fail at the end of the day. So that said, what are some things that you do try to do so that you can keep growing your business? And even if you are kind of not in the business as much, but working on the business as we get to that next level?
Oh, well, I don't think I have a real sexy answer for that, but for me, Jason, and you hit on this, I think it was on, I don't watch a lot of your lives, because we've got our lives going on here, but it may have been on the same one that I was mentioning earlier, but you talked about that book, The 12-Week Year. And I don't want to jump too far into that, but essentially that book talks, it has to do with goal setting and accountability and so on and so forth. So I think the key for me is setting the right kind of goals. And, so obviously they got to be things that are obtainable, but they've got to stretch you. They've got to get you to where you're wanting to go, but then they got to be bite-sized. And so something that was a big game changer for me the second I started doing it was taking my goals and turning them into quarterly goals instead of annual goals. And because a quarter goes by that quick, so you can stay focused and really try to get there. So I think the biggest thing for me is just that, setting those quarterly goals, obtainable, stretching you, keeping me focused. That's been a big game changer.
So, what do you think about being called a guru all these years?
you know, I finally just gave in, because it's like, I know we're not talking about business right now, but everyone that's watching this knows what we're talking about. And it's funny, you don't get any hate from the guys on YouTube. It's always the people over on Facebook that are bitching about it. And I'm just thinking, first off, you're the one calling me a guru, so thank you. I guess, is that a compliment? I guess, I don't know. But you look at a channel like mine, I sit here and it's literally in the title, Journey of a New Entrepreneur. If I can't be any more clear than that, and you're getting so butthurt because I'm getting some attention and you're not, because you've been in business longer than me, I can't help you with that. So it used to kind of bug me. I'm starting to embrace it. I've thought about changing the name to my channel, something like the guru of pressure wash or something like that.
I just keep it where you are. You're going to have haters. And that's the thing too. You got to remember, even when you grow in business, a lot of times you're going to have haters. You're, especially if you start taking off more than other people, and you start really, Bobby's in the land of $99 world. Jason Huffner's in here. He's in the land. Last year he was on my Voxer, and he's like, Jason, how can I make any money? There's only $99 guys down here. I'm like, you're right. You're absolutely right. There's only $99 guys. If you believe that and you don't give value, and I seen somebody else say, we're not, we lost it, or we that lost a job, and a lot of it is not giving value, not doing what you need to do. He had a call the other day of, somebody got a cheaper price, and that's where you got to lay it with value. Hey, are you comparing apples to apples, or what? Does that guy have workers' comp? Does that guy have business insurance? If that guy falls off your roof and he sues you, what, did you really save $200 at the end of the day? And so those are some things of giving value to do it. And that's not the only thing. Bobby likes to talk a lot about, and I love it because it's about the little things. And it's the little things from the time they get on your website to the time they call you, all the way through the job and all the way to after the job. And it's all the little things. I read something somewhere, and I was going through some stuff, and it was like, try to do something extra on every job. Maybe it's you take the garbage can up to the house, or just do something small that nobody else is going to do. And guess what? That could make their day and make them, love you even more at the end of the day.
Yep. Yeah. I don't have anything to add to that. I think it's good stuff. And it is. I don't have anything to add to it as I'm trying to add. But, when we talk about the little things, guys, every time Jason and I speak at an event, we kind of joke about the things that we disagree about, in our presentations, and I always give him a hard time, but he's right about this, where he says, step one of being, just beating your competitors is just answering the damn phone. How many times have you guys heard Jason say that? But then I go a step further and I'll say, well, that doesn't really separate us from your competitors. That just separates you from the other jackasses that started their business, but they're not answering the phone. But now there are some people out there that are driven just like you are. They have the desires and the goals just like you. So now what separates you from everyone else? You can't say, well, we're a professional company, because they're a professional company. You can't say, well, we're insured, because they're insured. You can't, all these, things, all of a sudden we're on this even playing field. So what we've got to do is make sure we do little things that positively impact the customer throughout that customer life cycle. And now that doesn't help you sell your first job, because now it's just perceived value. There's nothing real just yet. But if you do the little things, so not just answer the phone, but answer it the right way, not just show up and do the sales appointment, but do it in a strategic, scientific way that creates a good experience, not just clean the house, but clean the house with this great experience that the customer receives. Now, all of a sudden, you start getting those reviews, you start getting that reputation, and now it's not just something that's theoretical. Now, when you walk up to a customer, a potential client, you have this proof, this social, tangible proof that you're the best, and there's not any one big thing except for the fact that you're the best now. You're that highest reviewed company. You're the most reviewed company, or something like that. Does that make sense?
Yep, absolutely, 100%. It's all the little things that go into what can set you apart.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the little things, it will come out on your reviews.
Mm-hmm.
They will tell you in your 5-star review of what you're doing really good at a lot of times. And that is really the best way to gauge what you're really doing good at the end of the day, because they will tell you, hey, they were good on the phone, they kept me informed, they sent me pictures, they did all this thing to make sure that I knew that I was getting the best of the best service to what it is at the end of the day. So
Yep. Good stuff. I was just reading here, Jason. I think he says you can't make good money in Florida except for all this, $10,000 I just made. And that's my favorite thing. Is it's just like, I'm just kind of rambling here, Jason. So forgive me if we get too far off the base, but I always get a kick out of everyone thinking that their situation is unique. And it hasn't just been since I've been in this industry, but it was in my previous career. Everyone's the same. Listen, Jason, you're not special. I'm not special. None of the listeners are special. We're all doing the same stuff in just different areas. And the I'll always see people, just going back to the review thing, because that's kind of my gig, is they'll say, well, people don't leave reviews in my area. And I'm thinking, really? Let me pull my phone out. What's your area? And you can do a little bit of Googling, and real quick, you can find out there's a lot of companies with a lot of reviews in your area. You're not special. You just suck. You're just not doing it very good. Well, people don't pay for this stuff in my area. I live probably in the most competitive market in the country. My ticket price might be lower than yours, but I'm kind of kicking ass down here, and you can do it. Every disadvantage you have an advantage that someone else doesn't, so it pans out and evens out. And when everything's my fault, I can fix it, and I can succeed. When it's your market's fault, when it's you don't understand, it's different here. When you have that mentality, you're not going to make it. You're going to fail.
And I want to hit on something else here too. Of there's nothing special about us. There's nothing special about people that make a lot of money. I never, a lot of people that are in this business never went to college. Nothing special at the end of the day. That I put my pants on the same way a lot of other people. Bezos, all of them. And that's one thing I want to hit on here too of is, a lot of it comes down to mindset.
Yep.
If your mind can do amazing things, but if you have a negative mindset, if you're around a lot of negative people, that can hold you back a lot. And a lot of times the negative people that are going to hold you back is either your friends and family. So sometimes you even got to change some of that to get around positive people. What is your thoughts on getting around like-minded, positive people, Bobby?
Oh gosh. Um, it's funny you say that. It's we hear about this all the way back to when we're in school. You're in middle school and you hear your teachers or a speaker that comes and does a special assembly, and they're like, you're the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And if you hang out with bad people, you're going to be a bad person. If you hang out with good people, you're going to be a good person. And you hear these things and you almost start to write them off, or I'm pausing because I'm not sure if it's frozen here. So
you're good. You're good. You're good.
Okay. But you hear these things, so we start to write them off, thinking that it's just cliche and what have you. And I've been doing a lot of it, like, looking inward in my own life, because I'm being a lot more productive than I've ever been in my lifetime recently. And when things really changed and turned for me from a leadership and, let's say, an entrepreneurial visionary perspective, was actually when I started in the mastermind group that you and I are both a part of now, called Business, Bourbon, and Bullshit, the BBB. And the reason it's been so awesome, it's not because we do this phenomenal workshop once a quarter. That's helpful and it's valuable, but that's not the key. The key is that I'm one of the little guys in this group, that I'm around a bunch of killers that are doing millions and millions of dollars in revenue. Well, what happens all of a sudden is when you start hanging out with people like that, you start looking at how they act, how they speak, how they think, and then you start looking at the way you do it, and you're like, there's a reason they're that they're doing better than me. And so the value of being around people that are, better than you, it's probably the best thing that we can do, because when you start paying attention to something, things start to happen. And when you start hanging around with people that are quote unquote better than you start paying attention to these things and your life starts to change. So I'd say it's a huge, huge part of life.
And I think that's something that a lot of times I've noticed here in my classes lately, in some of my pressure washing classes, in fact, I just had one this past week or last week, and one of the guys is like, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I'm good enough. I don't know, and it's one of those things that, again, there's nothing special about me or Bobby, that how I grew my business to $1 million, how his goal is $1 million and probably going to hit it this year or next. There's nothing special about us. There's some talents that we may have and stuff like that. But I sucked at sales. I wasn't very good at sales. Bobby's better at sales. Bobby's better at probably leadership at the end of the day, because he has had that stuff. But there's strengths and weaknesses in everything, and as long as you work those strengths, your strength, and you do the things, and there's ways that you can get around your weaknesses. You find people that are good at your weaknesses. Maybe you suck at answering the phone. Find some girl for 10, $15 an hour and answer your phone, and guess what? Your sales might go way up by having somebody else answer your phone, because you can't answer your phone while you're out there, so you have to find ways to work around the way to do it.
Yeah. Well said.
So, what about education? How much education have you taken to get where you are right now?
Well, that's a hard question to answer. How much? I've spent a lot of money on it. I can tell you that.
But wait a minute. I thought those only were gurus that wanted your money and stuff like that.
Well, the way I see it, if I pay enough other gurus my money, then I can get everyone else to pay me theirs. I don't know. No. Here's the thing. I love your passive aggressive way to ask these questions. Every time the topic of, let's just talk about like coaches, and I'm not a coach. I'm going to be. I'm just not yet, but I'm going to, because it's stuff I like doing. I think it's kind of what I was born for. But I think I missed a calling being a football coach, to be honest with you. But you never hear extremely high producers you never hear them say coaches are worthless, or I'm my own coach, or whatever. Whether you want to go with the sports route with Tom Brady or Michael Jordan or LeBron James or whoever the best in said sport at the time is, Those guys don't say that. Tiger Woods, he doesn't say, I don't need a coach. I guarantee you, guys like, Mark Cubans and Elon Musk's and people like that, they've got mentors or coaches in their lives as well. And, you know, listen, guys, I don't give two shits if you give me any of your money, and Jason doesn't either. Now, I mean, like, we do care. We want to make money, but listen, we're not making money on this video here. We're just sharing the stuff that we've done in our lives, and it's successful. And if you're not investing in your education, if you're not investing in some sort of mentoring or coaching, you're missing out. And it's just a fact, and you're not special. You're not doing as good as you could be doing if you would do that stuff. So how much have I done? I always go to a handful of events each year. I'm not currently in a coaching program, but I actually was about to hire I was reaching out to a guy I wanted to hire for some coaching today, and he told me that he had no more capacity. So I'm looking for a coach right now. But I've had coaching stuff that I've paid $800 a month for on things. I've bought books for $300 for one book. I've paid for I bought a course last year for $1,000 about marketing and stuff like that. So I spend a lot of money, and then of course when you do the travel things, that really starts to add up as well. So the bottom line is, I couldn't tell you exactly how much money I've spent, but guys, you've got to do it. You need to invest your time and your money in ways to educate yourself, and not on just how to pressure wash, but how to be a leader, how to sell, how to market. Those three things right there: leadership, sales, and marketing. That's the key. And then the other shit, that's the easy part. Pressure washing, window cleaning, garage floor coating, whatever it is. Monkeys can do that stuff, but monkeys can't go out there and sell it.
But Bobby, I thought you could find all this stuff on YouTube for free.
Well, you may be able to. You may be able to. And I did at the very, very beginning. I kind of did. That's how we get started. But there's a couple of problems with that. One, you kind of start to plateau. Who would play me in a movie? Well, if we could get Stone Cold Steve Austin to stop working out for about 5 years and eat about a cup of peanut butter every night before bed, he'd probably be a good option. Shoot, what the heck were we talking about?
But Bobby, I thought you could get everything on YouTube for free.
You kind of can, education wise. Maybe you can actually, maybe, I think the thing we got to remember with a coach, and again, I want to be real clear. I'm probably going to have some sort of a coaching business one day, and probably sooner than later, probably not in 6 months or 12 months, but also probably not in 3 years or 4 years. I'm going to do it, but today I don't. So I don't have any vested interest in here. The best coaches on the planet they weren't necessarily the best players, right? Going back to the sports thing. And actually, most of the time they weren't. So what that tells us is a coach isn't someone that necessarily has all of the solutions or the fixes, but a coach is someone that helps hold you accountable, that helps push you, and they know how to push the buttons to get more out of your performance than you would on your own. That's, I think that's one of the things with coaches. So that's why instead of just getting information, having someone that is cracking that whip and holding your feet to the fire, there's a lot of value to that. And again, if you're watching this and you say, I do just fine on my own, good for you. Here's your cookie. I'm glad you're doing just fine on your own. If you're someone like that, that's not concerned with being the best you can be, hey, that's fine. We're probably not your guys. If you're someone that wants to be the best that you can be, you need some other people to help pull that out of you.
And a lot of times, I didn't even mean to go down this road, but I just want to hit on a little bit of, and I've said it a bunch of, when you open your wallet, usually you open your mind. And yes, there's everything, I could probably go get a law degree on YouTube. There's probably enough information out there that I could go past the bar and everything like that. But there's people that spend $100,000 to $200,000 for a 3 or 4 year degree to do the same thing. And so it's not about it's more about when you open your wallet, you open your brain. And
Yeah.
so the thing that I want to push here is and it's kind of like what Bobby was hitting on of, it's not just pressure washing. That's the easy thing. It's other things out there of, like leadership. Leadership is probably one of the biggest things that a lot of people don't understand and don't get it at the end of the day. Leadership, sales, and marketing. If you can get those three down, the rest is just gravy. And it don't matter what you're in, where you're at, anything like that.
Just bear with me while I'm getting some coffee, Jason. I'm still paying attention and talking. But no, I agree. Agreed.
So one thing that I like to do is what are some time of when you were at either a conference or something like that was a huge pivotal thing that helped you get to the next level in your business?
Well, let me be self-serving and 100% honest at the same time. Is that acceptable?
Yep.
So full disclosure, I'm one of the new owners of the Huge convention. So I'm about to tell a story about the Huge, and I'm going to be completely honest about it. But I want to be clear, I'm one of the owners there now. But that's just as of this year. So probably one of my favorite stories. I just posted this on Facebook a couple weeks ago. But it was 2017. It was the year we started the business. And right out of the gate, we had a bit of success. And then I started, I don't know why. I mean, I started getting a little too big for my britches and was like, you know what? I'm going to start working on my business instead of in my business, which is cool. But you got to have a business before you can start doing that. So we started having not a lot of success. Our success just plummeted because I was working on the business, wanting to do that SEO, the easy shit, and not continuing to grind it out. And so anyway, the Huge convention was coming up that year. It was in New Orleans, and we almost didn't go. We had bought our tickets a few months prior, and we almost didn't go because we didn't even have the money for the rental car. So I put my rental car on a credit card. Caleb and I drove to New Orleans, and the reason that was such a big pivotal event for us, first off, events like that, they do give you some motivation. Now, motivation by itself doesn't cut it. Like Zig Ziglar, I think it was him that always says, he goes, motivation doesn't last, but neither do baths. That's why we need them every day, and or neither do showers. That's why we got to keep doing it. But when I went to that event, getting around a bunch of other entrepreneurs, and you seeing some guys that are brand new, just like you, as well as the guys that have been there and done that, and you're actually able to like walk up and literally touch someone that's doing the $1 million company and be like, oh my God, they're real, they can do it. Just that part of it was really, no pun intended, was really huge for us. And then, my son, who at the time had just turned 18, us going to these classes, and we split up, and he'd go to his, and I went to mine. We went to some classes and just the influences. I remember Brandon Vaughn. It was before anyone really knew who he was, and he taught a class about hiring and recruiting viciously loyal employees. And just that presentation, it's changed the way we run our business, because the thing wasn't, here's how to write the best ad. It was how to be an employer that people love working for, so that, and to this day, really impacts our company. Caleb went to a Howard Partridge class during the thing, and I wasn't in there. My 18-year-old son, who was just some pressure washing, redneck, and he goes to this class. He didn't know his elbow from his asshole about sales. And he hears this guy teach about building networking opportunities and referral partners. And guess what? We just closed. Well, we didn't close. Well, the month's about over. We're right at $80,000 this month. He's my only sales guy. My son, and he's still influenced by stuff like that. So we built relationships with guys like Michael Hinderleiter, with Kurt Kempton. Who else did I meet? I'm going blank, but I meet these people and then they lead to relationships with people like you and the BBB that are in our mastermind group. So, so I would say that one event, even though I don't even know all of those people that I ran into, I don't know them all anymore. Some of them impacted my life so much. So that's one of the reasons that I'm so passionate. I've been to the Huge every year. This year I'm going to go as an owner, which is cool and exciting. I love the fact that 4 years ago I almost didn't go because I couldn't afford a rental car, and now I'm part owner of the damn thing, and that's cool too. And I would have to credit not that event, but the connections that I made there, and just like we were talking about, the people that you're around really, really impacted me to this day.
So before I move on, I put the link up here at the top, pressurewash.com/huge. And if you put the word king in there, it will give you $50 off and for signing up for it. Now,
it has to be all caps. The King promo code has to be all caps.
Now, I think that the biggest thing that I like about the Huge.
Oh, hey Jason, one thing, guys, I was just testing Jason's link before we came on. It only works on your desktop. So if you go on the link will work on your phone, but the promo code does not work on your phone. So if you want that $50 discount that Jason's giving, you have to do it on your desktop and type in King on the promo code.
So the Huge, I've been several times myself, and the biggest thing that I love about the Huge is rubbing arms against people that, like you said, that I have been in there. And that is the biggest thing, is the networking side of things. Going out to dinner with these guys, doing the other things. Yes, it's nice doing the classes and that, but there's 1,000, 1,500 guys there, and there's like 10 fields. I've always, I met 10 fields there. I've met, I met Guy Blackman there. I've met a lot of even the old dogs out there that are grumbly sometimes. And so those are things that I always love about going to the Huge. And then the other thing is just to see all the new equipment coming out and doing that. And again, down in those rooms, you can go to, in the where they show all the equipment and stuff, and you're still talking with all the people and all the vendors and learning and doing. And so the Huge isn't that expensive to go to be able to help you grow your business. It will, in fact, if it doesn't help you grow your business, and I always say I want to 10x whatever I spend into it. I think it's $299, and it's or $149. I think with the $50 off. Yeah.
It's either $149 or $199 after the discount. I can't remember.
But anyway, let's just say if it's even $300, if you don't 10x that by going there, then that's pretty. I would say it's on you at that point. And that's what I've always said. Some of the classes, yes, they're good, but where a lot of times I learned the most is getting that networking. I mean, you are able to talk to the guys that are making 100,000, 500,000, and they will share with you a lot of, even if you're just, I would just sit next to these people and listen and be like, "Ooh, I can do that right there myself. There ain't nothing special about that," and so there were some things of how I've learned to be able to grow. Yeah, don't forget about Rob Anderson. He's been there. There's a bunch of people that go and that can help you.
Rob's in our mastermind group now too, in the BBB.
Yes, he is.
Can I ride with you, Bobby?
Bobby's going down early that week, aren't you?
Oh, ride with me to the convention? No, you can't. I'm sorry. Nothing personal, RPC. Nothing personal. But no, you're not riding with me. I got my family's going to. So.
Where is the Huge convention at, Bobby?
So the Huge convention this year is in Atlanta, Georgia. As a matter of fact, so it's in Atlanta at the Marriott Marquis Hotel on August 19th and 20th. There's also, if you're going to the convention on the 18th, the day before, there's some additional classes. Now, those things, they actually are an additional cost. But like Spray Wash Academy, Ray Burke, they're putting on a thing there. I'm terrible. I should know who else. I think Michael Draper with his OSHA training stuff. I think he's going to do something. There's a few other. I think Michael Hinderleiter's doing something the day before, stuff like that. But on the 19th and the 20th, it's the actual convention. First off, the location is perfect. If you're flying in, which I've always done when I went to Atlanta, I might drive this year just for the fun of it. But if you fly in, you land at the airport, you hop on the train, and it'll drop you off 5 minutes from where the hotel is. So you don't even got to get a car if you don't want to. The hotel is walking distance of like 200 restaurants and bars. So there's plenty of entertainment for the evening. The hotel, if you guys are nerds like me and you like all the Marvel movies and stuff like that, go on Disney Plus and watch the trailer for the Loki series that's about to come up, and you'll see in that trailer there's a scene where it's looking up and there's like this elevator going up. That's the hotel we're in. It's so cool looking. They actually film Marvel stuff in this thing. It was also used for one of the Hunger Games movies. So it's just super cool. Really nice hotel bar in there. And you don't got to drink to enjoy it. It's a really cool area where everyone hangs out in the evenings. So you combine the amazing keynote speakers we're going to have on day one, as well as all the breakout sessions. Jason, you're going to be teaching a breakout session. I'm actually going to be helping with one with Kurt Kempton on using a budget inside of your business. So all the classes are business, leadership, sales, and marketing related. There's no technical talk on this thing. It's all about building the business. So it's going to be awesome. Atlanta, Georgia, August 19th and 20th. And like Jason said, if you click on the link right up here, you can actually save $50 with Jason's link. If you go to pressurewashhelp.com/huge and use his promo, all caps King, but it has to be on a desktop. For some reason, the promo code doesn't work on the phone.
So how is the huge convention structured? How does it work?
Yeah, so it's very, very simple. As far as the actual convention, it's 2 days long. So like I mentioned, the day before, there's some additional paid classes you can go to, but the actual convention on day one in the morning, we have 2 featured speakers plus a keynote. So day one, the first half of the day, that's the rah, the excitement, motivational speakers, things like that. And then the second half of day one, there's what we call them breakout sessions. So that's when you're going to go, and there's going to, I think we have 4 of them going at a time, if I remember right. Maybe it's 3. We got 3 or 4. So you're going to be able to select from a menu, and you'll have like Jason will be teaching a class, and then like Rob Anderson might be teaching a class, and Cody Arbrough might be teaching a class or something like that. So you pick who you want to go listen to. So there'll be a couple of sessions in the afternoon of day one, and then on day 2, the whole day is full of those breakout sessions with a bunch of different speakers. And then on top of all that, you add, it's the biggest trade show in the industry. So we've got a big trade show floor, and you're going to be able to go in and look at all the cool goodies and toys from everything in the pressure washing and window cleaning world. We actually have a vendor that's going to be there with the epoxy floor coating stuff, because there's a lot of us in our industry like myself that are getting into that business. So we're even going to have a vendor there for that. And you'll be able to go there and get hands-on, talk to Cody Yarbrough is going to have Southeast Soft Wash there. So you're going to be able to see his toys and his goodies, Soft Wash Systems, powerwash.com, WCR, all those guys will be there on the trade show. So it's a good chance to be able to go and check it out and play with all the toys.
So they're saying something's wrong on here.
I actually just tested it, guys, before we got on. So let me do one more.
Tried on Fox or Firefox and Chrome. The registration page is messed up on the convention page 1.
Hold on. I don't. pressurewashhelp.com/huge. Loaded them up here.
Registered. Is it the same premise as you in Myrtle Beach? This is like 10 times better than Myrtle Beach. This is like Myrtle Beach on steroids. There'll be 1,000, 1,500 people there. So this is one that, Myrtle Beach is one, but this is definitely something that is, this brings in all the big dogs. This isn't no local show. This brings in everybody. It's been going on for I've been going to it for 10 years almost. So I've been going to it every year. This isn't just something that's small. This is a very large, very well put together I mean, the vendor hall is huge.
Mm-hmm.
What is there? Almost 100 vendors there, probably.
Oh, I don't know, to be honest. It's a lot. I really don't know. By the way, guys, I just tested it on I'm on Chrome here. I went to pressurewasshelp.com/huge, and then I just typed in all caps King in the promo code, and it applied the $50 off. So try it again. Just make sure you're doing it on desktop. It's not working on your phone right now.
Keep talking. I got to get rid of a bot in here.
Oh, okay. Cool. So yeah. So back to the question on XTS is asking, is it the same? Now I want to be clear. The Myrtle Beach event is awesome too. So that we're not trying to suggest someone else's event isn't great. The I would just say the Huge is going to be like that. It's just bigger, more options. So instead of just having one stage where speakers filter in and out, you're going to get a lot of options. You're probably going to get, let's see here, 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15. You're going to get to choose from about 18 different classes that you can go to, plus the main speakers on day one, plus the huge trade show. And then one thing we're going to do a little different this year, we don't have it all worked out, but we're actually going to do like a social event, like an organized one. So, it could be a bar crawl. It could be a mechanical bull thing. It could be open mic night with comedy or karaoke. We're going to do something fun, kind of like a VIP pass for anyone that wants to participate and some cool stuff like that.
Yep, absolutely. I think I took care of them.
I didn't even see them in there. So
yeah, I did.
Were they making fun of me being fat again? Guys, that's so hurtful. That's so hurtful. Makes me want to tell a heady joke now.
So that is, the huge convention is definitely something that I would highly recommend. There will be a lot of good guys giving lots of information. I know that it has helped my business through the years. I always enjoyed doing it. I always enjoyed going. And it is definitely something that I would do. So would we have to pick who to listen to first days out of many gurus? Usually there's about 3 or 4 classes going on per session, and usually they're not all, usually if you're on this level and this level, they're not going to be like, man, do I go to this one or that one most of the time, correct?
Yeah, we'll work real hard to kind of make a path, if you will, for, like each session we would have like the newer guy track versus the experienced guy or advanced. So that way you could kind of do your thing. But one thing we are going to do this year, it should only be, if I'm remembering everything right, because my brain's mush, I think it's only going to be available to people that attend in person. 98% sure of that. But we're going to actually record the sessions and allow people that attend. It'll cost money for this, so just want to be clear, we don't know what, but you'll be able to buy all the sessions if you want, or you can just go to the ones that you visited. So we'll have some options for you on that. But let me tell you this: you wouldn't want to go and listen to every session, because it'll be information overload. Now you may want to hear Jason and Aaron Parker. I don't know if Aaron's coming or if Cody's going to speak or anything. I'm just making examples, but you may want to hear Jason and Aaron and Cody and me and Rob Anderson. But the fact is, you can't go to a convention and learn 100 different things and come home and implement them. You have to really narrow down what you want to take away and kind of go deep on that. So that's one of the biggest mistakes people make, is they get excited, and then they come home, think they need to implement 100 things, and then they do nothing. So,
yep. It says King is not valid coupon code. Like I say, I know it's working. One thing I'm going to hit on this one. Do we have to wear?
Oh, never mind.
Do we have to wear a face prison? And we're in Atlanta, and we're in Georgia. What's the rule going to be on that?
You poor thing, wearing your poor face prism. To my understanding, and again, this is one of those things where I'm like 98% confident. I just want to save some room in case I'm not correct. The governor of Georgia, they've already set the date, and I can't remember if it's June. It's like June 1st or July 1st. I can't remember. all restrictions removed statewide, effective a date they already have in place. So there'll be no restrictions for the huge.
Awesome. 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 So go check it out. If my link don't work, just get signed up. That will save you $50. So make sure if you have to try it on a computer. I know that it is working for one person because I seen that it came through, but that's the first one. I know people bought last time I was on, and I don't know why it's not working. So that's on
Yeah,
Bobby's.
guys, I'm telling you, I'm positive it's working on a computer. I just did it while we were live. I'm looking at the screen right now that says discount applied, $50. So it is working. You just can't do it from your phone.
So go sign up. Go get your go get your airplane ticket so that way you'll get a better deal if you get it booked now. I know the rooms have been booked out before, so then you might have to go to another hotel, and that's no fun. But definitely go get that and check it out.
You want to stay at the hotel, and not only is this hotel awesome, but the room are block rate. So when you buy your ticket, you'll get an email confirmation, and in that email you need to check your spam filter, make sure you find it. In there will be your hotel booking information. You can get this badass hotel for, I think it's $119 a night. So it's right there, walking distance to everything. You don't even got to leave to get to the convention. It's legit.
Awesome, guys. Any last words, Bobby?
Guys, if you're not doing what you want to do in life, you better have a damn good reason for it. But if you're not pursuing it, there's no good reason.
And how do you overcome failures?
You don't quit. Guys, bravery doesn't mean you're not scared. It just means you did it when you were scared, and we only quit when we're scared. So be brave, push through, set manageable goals, and call your shots online. Go into Jason's group, go into mine, say, this is what I'm going to achieve. Let people hold you accountable. Don't be too proud. There's a lot of things you can do to overcome failure, but those are some of them.
So if you want a free 30 days, go to pressurewashhelp.com/free. And there I have an accountability group of helping you to stay accountable. You can write your goals down. You can write down stuff so that way you can make sure that you are being held accountable. Well, hope you all have a good night, and we'll see you later. Hang on, Bobby. I'm going to hit this off.